Welcome everybody inside East Gymnasium for our fourth game of the day here as part of the 2025 Last Chance Showcase, as it's going to be a matchup featuring the Bergenfield Bears and the Emerson Cavos. Hello everybody, I'm Dan Long. So glad that you could join us here for our continued broadcast coverage on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Emerson will be in the black with the red numerals. Bergenfield will be in the white with the red numerals. Bergenfield, no strangers to playing here inside East Gymnasium this season. They are about to play their fifth game here at Fort Lee. They played Fort Lee in a regular season contest. They participated in 3 games as part of the Jack Riley Holiday Tournament, and now playing here today. Fifth game already for Bergenfield inside this gym. And we're underway as Emerson will take the opening possession. Go with the layup attempt high off the glass, no good. Bergenfield in search of their first win of the season, as Emerson trying to snap a long losing skid of their own, as Bergenfield will take the initial lead in this one. Off-balance shot is good this time for Emerson. Going high off the glass that time for Emerson was Michael Graff. And Graff gets the Cavos on the board. Bergenfield coming in off a 78-35 loss their last time out against Teaneck on Thursday, while Emerson lost 56-51 on Friday against NJIC rival in Park Ridge. Cavos led by John Ziemba, former head coach here for quite some time at Fort Lee High School. Also a broadcast partner of mine on some of our broadcast coverage this season. Will Yeager, the head coach of Bergenfield, is Bergenfield playing long extended minutes here on defense. Straightaway 3 by John Picarillo, no good. Fight for the loose ball, and Emerson comes away with it. Gets it up top to Ryan Leone. Bergenfield with the steal, getting it down the floor to Josh Herr. Herr off balance, runner across the lane, no good as Picarillo skies for the rebound. Long outlet the other way as Emerson trying to beat Bergenfield in transition, but the layup just couldn't fall for Kennedy. And that's going to be a traveling violation, double dribble. Looked like a carry, actually, against Yadier Rodriguez, who's a little hampered and labored after that play. Offense has been hard to come by for teams here today at East Gymnasium, and that trend continues here in this fourth game. Jump ball, and possession error will give it back over to Bergenfield. As there's a whistle that sounds after they were trying to break the full court pressure. Inbound now for Emerson. Emerson going right to the rim. The foul after Picarillo had gone airborne. John Picarillo, the junior, at 27 points, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks in a game against Woodridge earlier this season. He's the prolific scorer for this Cavo team that averages 53.7 points per game. Picarillo missing on the first foul shot attempt. Second foul shot also no good, so Picarillo with an empty trip to the foul line. Herr open in the corner, high arcing 3 hit off the side of the backboard, no good. Down the other way, Picarillo with the teardrop, no good, as he sensed the defender was waiting to possibly set himself and take a charge. Aiden Roldan lost track of where he was, threw it away. Picarillo weaving his way to the bucket for the lay-in. Emerson takes the lead at 4-2. Her looking for an outlet. Gets it down the floor to Xavier Valdez. Her can be a lethal three-point shooter for this Bergenfield team. Her at 19 points here in this gymnasium against Memorial High School as part of the holiday tournament. Sent down the other way, and that's going to go in for a lay-in in transition. That time for Emerson. (6-2) advantage now for Emerson. 6-0 run for the Cavos as it gets deflected down the other way. Kennedy was the one who laid that last one in for Emerson. Inbounds upcoming now for Bergenfield. Well, Dan had that inbounds pass intercepted, stolen away the other way. And Emerson is feasting here in transition, is getting down the floor. Kennedy again with another lay-in. That's 4 straight for him. Emerson takes an 8-2 margin in favor of Bergenfield. Rodriguez tried to fit that pass in a tight window. Got it deflected away, tries to go up for it. Initiated the contact, and it looks like Rodriguez will be bailed out and will head to the foul line to shoot a pair. With 4:06 left to go in the first quarter, as that foul will be charged to Jacob Murphy. For Murphy, that'll be his first. And for Emerson, their first team foul. Rodriguez swishes home the first foul shot attempt. Rodriguez had 9 points in a game here at East Gymnasium against Memorial. Memorial were the runners-up against Oltapan, a team that will be featuring in our next game here, as Oltapan's going to be taking on Dwight Englewood. Rodriguez goes 1 of 2 at the line as Rashard Haynes was trying to track down that miss. At the midway point to the first quarter, there's Picarillo. Outstanding length there as he just high-pointed that basketball away from the defender and then kissed it off the glass and in. He's got 4. Down the other way, Emerson with a 7-point advantage. Her up top, behind his back, getting it outletted over to Zahir Mendoza. Here's Rodriguez from outside for 3. Yadier Rodriguez splashes home the triple. First 3-point shot of the game for Bergenfield, and the lead is down to 4, 10-6. Getting it around now up top. Murphy. Trying to run through that is Graff, number 10. Picarillo. Off to the outside. Murphy. Patient offensive set here for Coach Ziemba's Cavos. Picarillo got fouled after he was trying to split the defensive double team. That foul will go against Mendoza, his first, and for Bergenfield as a team, that is their 3rd foul. Pass up top, Haynes trying to defend the perimeter. Graff will pull it out. Shot from the outside for Emerson, no good. Emerson trying to snap a 4-game losing streak on the season. Trying to get their 7th win of the season. As that's deflected. 12-6 lead for Emerson with 2:23 left to go here in the first. Coast-to-coast attempt there by Rodriguez. Just had it lip off. Haynes tries to attack underneath, and Haynes with the offensive rebound will get the whistle in his favor after he attacked the rim and got clawed on his way up to the rim. Rashard Haynes, the junior big man, to the line for 2. As Haynes showing off the good shooting touch there on his first opportunity. Haynes knocks in a pair, his first 2 points of the afternoon. 12-8 lead now for Emerson. Picarillo getting around a couple of different defenders, and he doesn't settle for the outside shot, just weaves his way right to the rim for the lay-in. 14-8 lead for Emerson. Rodriguez in the open floor, feeding the trailer. No good, too hard off the glass. Her with it now, top of the key. Bullet pass inside, trying to fit it into the hands of Haynes. He got it, but he got it blocked away. Coming up on 90 seconds left to go in the first. Worked around up top, and Coach Ziemba will want to talk things over. As will be a timeout on the floor as Picarillo and Emerson staking his team out to a 14-8 lead here as we're closing in on 20 seconds left to go in this first quarter, as Fort Lee would like to thank all the proud sponsors of these different broadcasts, as we have the exclusive broadcast coverage of this Last Chance Showcase here. We'd like to thank all of those sponsors for their support, as seen on your screen. Picarillo right down Broadway. Nobody's stopping his entry. Just a hard dribble and took it right down the middle of the floor for a layup. I love Picarillo's game. He is aggressive and just doesn't settle for outside jumpers, just attacks for layups. Refreshing seeing that all day today. We've seen so many three-pointers attempted. No one really taking advantage of layups and also mid-range jumpers. 50 seconds left to go in the quarter. Emerson doubling up Bergenfield now, 16-8. Cavo's running their set now with Kennedy. Leone handing it off. There's Leone, the sophomore, getting it back up top to Kennedy. Worked around as Picarillo backs it up. Emerson trying to hold for one final shot of the quarter. This is a long time that Bergenfield's going to have to play this one out defensively. Picarillo getting by one defender and finger rolls it in. Picarillo with 10. And Emerson will take a commanding 18-8 lead into the end of this first quarter of play. Stick around as we'll be back for the start of the second quarter of action as you're watching all the coverage here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Emerson leading Bergenfield 18-8 at the end of the first quarter of play. John Picarillo has been unstoppable 10 points in that open quarter for the Cavos. As Bergenfield got off to the early start with a lead, but have just not been able to solve this offense that really relies on Picarillo with dribbling inside the heart of the paint and finding his way to uncontested lay-ins. There's no rim protector on Bergenfield's side, and that has been to great effect. And now Emerson attacking from the outside this time for Ryan Leone. Leone cashes in the triple. Largest lead of the game now, it's 21-8. Cavos began their season 6-1, but have been mired in a long losing skid. A 7-game losing skid on the season. Looking for their first win since January 3rd. On the other side, Bergenfield, obviously it's been a tough season. Looking for their first win of the season are the Bears. Cavos are led by New Jersey Hall of Fame coach John Ziemba, who called this gym home for 23 seasons as the head coach at Fort Lee from 1991 till 2014. Graff getting it over to Leone. Picarillo. Emerson weaving their way through. Contested layup, no good by Kennedy. Rebounded by Bergenfield. Bergenfield trying to bring it down the other way. Scramble for the loose ball, and they're going to say that it's a jump ball. Possession will keep it on this end of the floor for Bergenfield. (18-8) lead after one for Emerson. They've extended that lead with a three-point shot by Leone to begin this second quarter of play. Kick out to her in the corner. Bergenfield trying to get it back into Josh Herr's hands. He's someone that could be lethal from the outside when he gets into a zone. Here's Herr, sets and fires. Off the back iron, no good. Picarillo with the rebound. Picarillo going coast to coast, denied entry at the rim. Good block there. Bergenfield trying to attack in transition themselves. Haynes left it short at the rim. Tries up again, and he glasses it in. Rashard Haynes, good second and third effort, and banked it in. He's got 4 here in the first half for Bergenfield. Dropped inside to Leone. And up top to Michael Graff. Being watched by Roldan. Is now into the corner it goes. Murphy. And a reach-in foul. This time it looks like again Sahir Mendoza. For Mendoza, that's going to be his second personal foul. First team foul for Bergenfield here in the second. Inbounded, inside, Picarillo contorts the body, missing on the lay-in, tipped out, and possession secured by Bergenfield. They go down the other way. Sidestepping, but missing on the Euro step finish was Mendoza. Rebounded instead by Murphy. Murphy bringing it down the other way. Contested layup again. Better defense this quarter for Bergenfield, but eventually the ball finds its way into the hands of Picarillo. He's got 12 in the half. 23-10 lead for Emerson. Herr, step back 3. Off the mark on that far corner as Emerson attacks in the open floor. Good ball movement leads to the open 3 by Graff. No good as Roldan will secure the loose ball rebound. 3 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Dumping it down low inside. Nice move again by Haynes. Haynes has done an effective job in the post of carving out some position and having an opportunity to lay it up and in. Rashard Haynes with 6 points here in the first half of play for Bergenfield. And the Bears are back to within 11 at 23-12. Here near the midway points of the second quarter of play. We'll have two more games following us here today after this one is in the books. Old Tappan taking on Dwight Englewood in our fifth game, and then St. Mary's taking on Demarest in our sixth and final game of the day. That's coming up here after this one has concluded. This is our fourth game of the day. We have been broadcasting each and every one of these games as part of the 2025 Last Chance Showcase. Neither of these teams will be eligible for the Bergen County Jamboree, but could have possible entry for Emerson into the BIT. Also factors into postseason power points as well, as Emerson coming into this one would be 14th in power points in North 1 Group 1, so they would be in playoff position. Bergenfield outside looking in right now in North 1 Group 3. So possession will go back over to Emerson with 4:29 left to go in the second. Tipped away, but still possession saved here for Emerson. As Ryan Daubel has come into the game, number 2. Gavo's working around to Murphy. Murphy gets hit on his way up as Haynes was trying to get a piece of the ball, and maybe there's another defender who also got a piece of the arm. Looks like they will say that Haynes got more arm than even ball. That'll be his first personal foul. Third team foul for Bergenfield, which will send Jacob Murphy to the line, shooting 2. Sophomore knocks in the first foul shot. The left-hander knocks in a pair. His first couple of points, and Emerson with a 13-point lead again, 25-12 at the midway point of the second quarter. Hesitation dribble there by Roldan. Here's her, and her finally gets that three-pointer to fall. Josh Herr has been off the mark in that corner a couple of times, but once he sets and fires, he can be lethal. He's got 5 here in the first half for Bergenfield. Graff looking for an outlet. Gets it underneath. Rodriguez defending. Turnaround shot is good. That was a tough finish for Kennedy. Kennedy lays that one in as Emerson leads 27-15. As Coach Ziemba talking things over with his team that are in control here, trying to snap a 7-game losing streak on the season. (27-15) lead for Emerson. On top of Bergenfield here. So we're closing in on the final 3 minutes of the first half of play. Emerson led by 10 after 1. Rodriguez across the lane. Might have gotten away with a travel. High arcing shot, no good. Rebounded by Emerson. Graff with it to the near side. Emerson has yet to commit a team foul themselves as we're closing into the final 3 minutes of the quarter. Good entry pass, and it looks like it's going to be a foul. Whistled on the floor. Trying to force feed that pass inside to Nate Kiola. Picarillo comes out of it with possession, and then there's the foul called. 2:35 left to go here in the second. That'll be the 5th team foul against Bergenfield, so we'll send Picarillo to the foul line with a double bonus situation. Picarillo had 10 points for the Cavos in the first quarter. Sinks that first foul shot. He's 1 of 3 at the line here today. He's got 13. Got a season-high 30 points against Bergen Charter. And 6 times this season has erupted for 20 or more points. He's got 14 here in the first half. 29-15 lead with 2.5 minutes left to go in the second. Rodriguez trying to fit that one over to her. Her swung that pass around through the hands of Valdez. Three-pointer by Roldan, in and out. As it's deflected, and a foul is whistled first against Emerson. That'll be the first Cavo foul of the quarter, with 2:08 left to go in the second. Blocked shot there by Emerson after Rodriguez tried to carve his way right through the heart of the defense. Doing the exact same thing and missing was Picarillo. So misses on both ends. Now Rodriguez trying to go the other way. Down inside, kicks out to a teammate. Roldan for 3, no good. Her try to crash the offensive glass. Bodies flying on the hardwood. Her comes away with it. Now a breakout opportunity here for Bergenfield. Rodriguez in the corner. Tried to pass it up, and it was stolen instead by Picarillo. And Picarillo will go in for the easiest of lay-ins. 16 points for Picarillo. 31-15 lead for Emerson now. 1:15 and counting left to go in the second. Rodriguez had that one taken out of his hands. Roldan getting it underneath for Haynes. And Haynes misfiring on that shot. Try to follow it up. It's going to be a jump ball tie-up situation, as possession will go back over to Emerson with under a minute now left to go before halftime. Bergenfield subbing guys on before could even start the play again, and referees being gracious and allowing that substitution even though it came after play had been restarted. Graf handing it over now to Daubel. 40 seconds left to go in the quarter. Will Emerson try to play for one final shot here? Picarillo across the lane. Graf across the lane. Caiolo was thinking about it, number 14, the sophomore. As Emerson will try to play for this final possession of the half. On top by 16, 31-15. Graf throwing it into the corner. Worked around. Here's a shot from straight away, no good. Put back attempt also off the mark. And Emerson will take a 31-15 advantage into the halftime locker room, as the Cavos defense has been staunch on one end and the offense has been executing at a high level on the other end of the floor. So we head to halftime here inside Fort Lee's East Gymnasium, and we thank all of our proud sponsors for allowing us to bring you the sights and sounds of this broadcast coverage of the Last Chance Showcase. Welcome back, everybody. Here inside East Gymnasium at Fort Lee High School as we're moments away from the resumption of play in the start of the second half. 31-15 lead for Emerson on top of Bergenfield. As Emerson led by 10 after one. 18-8 margin, and then extended that lead, outscoring Bergenfield 13-7 in the second quarter of action. Bergenfield being led by Richard Haynes is 6 points in this game, and John Picarillo with 16 points for Emerson, outscoring Bergenfield himself. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, Renee Matisic, glad that he could join us on our broadcast coverage of this, the fourth game of the Last Chance Showcase here from East Gymnasium. Inbounds pass was deflected before it could be put back into play. Bergenfield in their road white, Emerson in their home black. Inbounds comes to her. Her goes right to the rim and lays it in. Nice play there by Josh Herr. Herr's got 7. Now the leading scorer in this game for Bergenfield, the son of Fort Lee athletic trainer Tom Herr. Bergenfield tracks it down to the near side, getting it up the floor now to Yadier Rodriguez. Physical player initiating the contact again. Rodriguez, who had 4 points, all of which came in the first quarter, will have an opportunity to move a little closer as he'll head to the foul line to shoot 2. Foul was against Ryan Leone, his first. Rodriguez hits all parts of the rim and gets it to drop. He's got 5 in this game. 2 or 3 at the foul line. Rodriguez knocks a pair. He's got 6. 4-0 start to this third quarter for Bergenfield. Have pulled them back to within 12, 31-19. Knocked out of bounds, last touch off of Bergenfield. So good attention to detail to start off this second half for Bergenfield on both ends of the floor. Emerson with a quick inbounds, perfect execution there. Jacob Murphy skying high for the lay-in. Haynes now letting it over to the side to Terrell Duncan. And Bergenfield again moving closer and closer. They're back to within 12. Into the corner it goes. 3-point shot knocked in by Ryan Leone. His second 3 of the game. He's got 6. 36-21 lead right now for Emerson. Again, both teams in desperate search of a win here today. Bergenfield looking for their first win of the season. Emerson trying to snap a 7-game losing skid after they had gotten off to a 6-1 start to the season. They're now 6-8 overall. In North 1, Group 1, the PowerPoint standings, Patterson Charter is the #1 team, followed by New Milford, Wallkill Valley, and Waldwick, the top 4 seeds. We saw Waldwick in our first game of the day earlier. They lost to Westwood in a close affair. Emerson right now would be in the playoffs as the number 14 seed. A win here today would keep them in the driver's seat to make the postseason. Again, you have to be in the top 16 of your group in order to qualify as one of the top 16 seeds when it comes to PowerPoints. Last season, Emerson played in this Last Chance Showcase, lost to Indian Hills 58-55. Full court pressure being administered by Emerson out of the timeout. Foul went against Michael Graff, his second. Rodriguez the other way. Trying to sidestep the defender, missing on the layup attempt. Picarillo with a rebound. And off top of the key, Leone again. Ryan Leone with 3 threes in this game. Here's the pressure by Emerson. Picarillo met at the rim, blocked away by Valdez. Herr gets the left-hand layup. So the pace started to quicken here. Both teams throwing full court pressure on. Leading to transition and layup attempts. Here's a steal produced by Mendoza. Mendoza trying to get around that last defender, got it blocked away. Hook pass up top. Rodriguez dropping it down low, and a foul hit from behind will send Duncan to the foul line for Bergenfield to shoot a pair. With 5:46 left to go in the third quarter, and Emerson's lead at 16. Terrell Duncan missing off the back iron with that shot attempt. Duncan missing on both foul shot opportunities. Right down the middle of the lane, a blocking foul and a one. Count the bucket for John Kennedy. The Bergenfield player is here Mendoza, who tried to take the charge call, but got called for the block, was a little slow to get to his feet, helped by his teammates. So Kennedy gets the bucket. 8 points now for Kennedy in the game. Kennedy short on the foul shot. Fight for the loose ball. Found its way into the hands of Graff, who misses there. Still extra possession, and it leads to Picarillo's floater. Picarillo with 18. Rodriguez getting down the other way. A filler across the lane, no good on that shot attempt by Valdez. (43-23) advantage right now for Emerson, as they're starting to take control here in the third quarter of play. As it comes down the other side as the Cavos setting it up on offense. Looking for Picarillo, did a good job of swarming him. Across the lane, thinking about the three was Murphy. Picks it down, now back up top to Murphy for three. No good. Rodriguez tried to get to it, but it got tipped out in space, and it finds its way into the waiting hands of John Kennedy. Another lay-in for Kennedy here. He's got 4 points in the quarter. Bergenfield came down with it on the sideline, so the full court pressure turns Bergenfield over. Possession going back over to Emerson. 45-23 advantage with 4:37 left to go in the third. Backdoor feed, trying to find inside. Turnaround layup is good, as Leone has been doing most of his damage from behind the arc that time. Got the benefit of the backdoor pass in the lay-in. Leone with 11. Haynes hands it off to Rodriguez, now to Herr. Herr sets and fires from deep. That three-point shot off the mark. Picarillo with the outlet down the other way. Easy pickings there for Kennedy. He gets the lay-in, and now Emerson has broken this one open. Bears had a good start to this quarter, but now it's come undone defensively. Herr left the shot short at the rim. Fouls his own miss, tried to lay it up again. A third time again, just trying to loft it at the rim, no good. Possession back over to Emerson here. The full court pressure, nobody was watching. As I think a couple of subs were coming off the floor, so it wasn't the official restart of play. They were just trying to long ball down to Daubel. So now they'll redo the inbounds. Bergenfield trying to put the full court pressure on. Open for three in the corner, no good this time for Leone. 8 points in the quarter for number one in black and red. Closing in on the final 3 minutes of the third quarter. Haynes over to her. Slip right to the rim, and Haynes finishes it off. And a timeout's going to be taken by Bergenfield after that made basket to make this a 49-25 lead for Emerson. .305 remaining here in the third quarter from East Gymnasium at the campus of Fort Lee High School. Thanks for tuning in to watch this broadcast coverage of Bergenfield versus Emerson. Fourth game of the day as part of the 2025 Last Chance Showcase. We'll depend on Dwight Englewood in our next game, and then we will conclude all the basketball action of this Marathon Sunday of hoops action, with St. Mary's taking on Demarest. Nearly a steal produced by Bergenfield. Picarillo tracks it down instead. Emerson weaving their way through the heart of the lane. Here's Picarillo, sidesteps the defender, extra pass. Found his teammate waiting underneath in Nate Kaiola. Unselfish find there by Picarillo. Got bumped there after Kennedy was trying to force that steal with 2:21 left to go in the third. Fourth team foul against Emerson. That's going to be the second personal foul in this game against John Kennedy. Roldan getting right to the rim, no good. Haynes with the putback though. Rashard Haynes, the junior, now up to 10 points in the game for Bergenfield. But no one stopping the basketball. Missed layup though for Emerson. Rodriguez the other way. Down the sideline, getting it to her. Reverse layup attempt, no good. Rebounded by Emerson with under 2 minutes left to go in the third. Worked around the perimeter, great ball movement. Finding into the corner. And that time, Picarillo lines it up and knocks it down. His first three-pointer made in this game. He's got 21 points. Now for the seventh time this season, eclipsing the 20-point threshold. Emerson doubling up Bergenfield as we're coming up on the final 90 seconds of the third quarter. Good take inside by Aiden Roldan. His first 2 points of the game. Picarillo pulling it out, now switching over. Taubel to Kennedy. Hook shot is good. High off the glass and good for Kennedy. He's got 8 in the quarter here for Emerson. That was old school Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Lost art of that hook shot. 56-29 lead for Emerson. 30 seconds remaining in the third. Holdan. Closing into the final 15 seconds. Rodriguez initiated the contact, and that's going to be an offensive foul against the Bergenfield senior. That will also be his third personal foul at the end of that play. One of his second team foul against Bergenfield in the third. Another foul whistle against Bergenfield as the Bears have a couple of fouls to give. .6 seconds remaining. Extra little touch pass, open man in the corner for 3. That was beautiful. A touch pass right into the waiting hands of Jacob Murphy. Murphy knocked down his first 3 of the game. He's got 7. And it's all Emerson here. 59-29 lead as we head to the fourth quarter of play from Fort Lee High School as you're watching continued broadcast coverage of the 2025 Last Chance Showcase. To the fourth quarter we go here at East Gym. 59-29 lead for Emerson, their largest lead of the game. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, Renee Matisic. Glad you could join us on our broadcast. Picarillo as Cavos take a shot from the outside, no good by Kiola. Rebound secured underneath by fellow number 14, Xavier Valdez. Good move to the rim that time by Mendoza, just a little too strong with the layup attempt. Picarillo. Behind the back, getting it up top to Kennedy. And a big third quarter. Turnaround shot by Kiola, no good. Kind of an awkward angle and nearly banked it in blindly. Reverse layup, no good that time by Murphy. Rebounded by Bergenfield as the Bears break out with it at the other end, but turn it over. Running clock is in effect right now because of that 30-point second half margin. So even though the ball went out of bounds, clock continued to meander its way down, unselfishly finding Kiola underneath for the lay-in. Sophomore has 4 points off of the Emerson bench. Worked around for the open shot, nearly banked home on a 3 by Roldan. Picarillo with the rebound. Up top, it's Jacob Murphy. Murphy had 5 in that third quarter. Another look inside with Kennedy feasting here today. The sophomore was 16. Herr attacks in transition, and Josh Herr is now in double figures with 11 for Bergenfield. Emerson turned over. Brought down the other way for the lay-in by Aiden Roldan. Back-to-back buckets for Bergenfield. Murphy playing it backwards. Up top to Kennedy. Herr with good anticipation there. Herr left the layup a little short, though, as he felt Picarillo was going to time it, and now Roldan with another lay-in. Quick timeout for substitution purposes, as again the clock continues to make its way down. 63:35 left to go here in regulation. Emerson looking to snap a 7-game losing skid on the season and win for the first time since just after the new year. That pass is stolen away by Duncan. Zaya Perez into the game for the first time for Coach Yeager and Bergenfield as well, number 21 on the floor. Running shot that time by Roldan, followed his own miss. Gets it back up top to Mendoza. Cross the lane, try to hook pass outside, and that's going to be deflected. So it's going to be still possession for Bergenfield. Past the midway point to the fourth quarter. Bears patiently working it around, finding Duncan on the baseline, and good execution there by Bergenfield. Terrell Duncan's first 2 points of the game. With a step on the defender, Jacob Murphy sails to the rim. He's got 9 after that layup. Emerson up to 65 points here today. Most points in a game this season for Emerson, 72, and a 72-70 win against Bergen Charter, the championship of their holiday tournament. 65 points put on the board here with 2.5 minutes left to go. As Coach Ziemba starting to empty his bench. And it's going to be stepping out of bounds. I'm going to say deflected last touch, it seems like off of Bergenfield, so possession stays with Emerson as we close in on the final 2 minutes of regulation. Deflected pass by Roldan. Possession will stay here. Nice feed inside. Marcos Kessel, number 34, with the bucket. Deflected pass, good active hand to the passing lane there by Emerson on defense. Closing in on the final minute of play. As good interior find and finish inside by Bergenfield, as Zaya Perez gets his first 2 points. Perez now with the active hands in the passing lane himself. Looking to go for another two, but that time rushed that layup attempt. 50 seconds left to go in the fourth. And a meeting at the rim after Zahir Mendoza penetrated, and he'll be fouled and head to the foul line. Mendoza gets his first point of the afternoon with that foul shot. Second foul shot by Mendoza is also good. 67-41 with under 20 seconds left to go. So Emerson will bounce back and get their 7th win of the season. Once again, another lay-in here for Emerson at the end by Kessel. 69-41 is going to be your final score. Emerson goes to 7-8 on the season. Bergenfield will look for another chance at their first win of the year as they'll be taking on Paramus their next time out, while Emerson will next play host to Beckton on January 28th. So that'll do it for our broadcast coverage of this 4th game of this Last Chance Showcase. Stick around as we'll be back for our 5th game of the day coming up on its own broadcast link. So for Renee Matisich and Dimitri Nanis, I'm Dan Long saying so long from East Gymnasium. Take care, everybody.